Matt Steinmetz, Evan Giddings with you, joined by Willard and Dibs. Hey, gentlemen, how you doing?
Hey,
What's up?
Steiny.
What's up?
Little distracted.
Is that what the kids
Stephen
say?
A. Smith, huh? Look at you, all fancy.
Oh, yeah.
Fancy.
They're old friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fancy.
That's more of a boss flex
I
than
think
a
you got
Steinmetz or
I think
Giddings flex.
you got a drop out of it though, which I think we're going to use a whole lot.
A ton.
There's
Oh,
a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like Wiggins? No.
Yeah.
That's it. There's
There it
your
is.
drop.
There
You
it
like
is.
him?
Yeah.
No. No, I don't.
Every once in a while, I do go back to my journalistic roots and ask a short question.
Actually,
Why?
I've been trying so
that's
hard.
one thing that you do really well. And I don't often compliment you on your mechanics. You know that, Steiny.
Because I'm not a real host.
You're not. And I said
Traditional.
it then. And
Yeah.
whatever. You can use whatever you word on it.
Yeah.
But your question asking is elite because you have a question and you just ask it.
Well, you
you
just
don't dress it up with like, this, that, my statement, long form, and then you just stop talking and then you hope that they answer the non-question that you didn't even ask.
Well, sometimes you need a little backgrounder, but the good thing where I'll agree is there's a question. You have a question. And sometimes it's just like, I hear people go on for 2 minutes.
Yes.
And then they just stop. And the person's like supposed to just pick up the baton and keep running.
Right.
It's like, was there a question in there somewhere?
There wasn't.
Sometimes,
You're doing a great job, Steiny.
thank you. Hey, I'm
Steinmetz, you're doing a heck of a job.
I'm a little down in the dumps, and I don't know
Why?
if you heard me. Guys, we're taking my middle daughter back to the airport today. So she's going back to college.
London.
Yo,
So
man,
she's
I don't
finishing
think
up her
so.
senior season. They only go 3 years of college there to get their degree.
Oh,
So you save a little money that way.
okay.
So she's coming back.
Yeah, but never.
In theory.
Yeah.
But I was
theory.
thinking she was home for about 5 weeks. That may be the most extended visit
I
I
feel
will
like
ever get with my daughter.
Yeah,
number two
I'm
of
picturing-
any time in the rest of my life.
I'm picturing Seinfeld being the one who says this, and I don't know why, but I think it was this conversation I was watching, and it's applicable to what you're talking about, Steiny, so I feel for you, which is that you go 18 years and you see these people just about every day. And then when they turn 18, you essentially get one more year the rest of their lives, the rest of your life.
Yeah, combine almost.
One
yeah.
more year spread out over the next 30, 40, well, if you're lucky, whatever you got left. I feel for you, man.
Yeah, so she
brother.
maybe she'll stay in London after she graduates. She ain't never coming home.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Not for more than a week.
Well, that's kind of what she intimated to me when we spoke.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Excuse me.
and I hate to be breaking
So
news
I
in your
love
own
it
family.
over here.
but
I think I'll stay.
We
got
had this
offers.
conversation.
Budapest.
and I said,
I don't know anything about her going to
well,
Budapest.
she didn't mention Budapest. And you know that Budapest is 2 different cities.
Oh,
There's Buda, and on the other side of the river is Pesh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like Fargo Moorhead. Yeah.
Like St. Paul and Minneapolis.
and they're right, and
like
of course it's right
Larkspur and
next to
Coromandel.
Bucharest.
False.
Oh,
That would be Romania. Yeah, this is Hungary, where
I'm so
you know,
hungry.
spent
So
some time.
I'm so hungry
right
today.
now.
Yeah. Anyway.
what's going on here?
I love.
I'm dropping knowledge is what's
yeah.
going on,
I love-
JT.
we
Maybe you
should-
could like
geography
dial
class.
in and learn.
We should have like a
Zygote.
little Dibs knowledge moment of the day, where you just Cliff Clavin the hell out of this room.
Well, I try to be
I dig it.
conversational.
No, I'm being real.
And that was a moment where I thought that I could educate not only Steiny,
I learned
but all
something
of
from you. I learned
Yes.
something from you almost every day. Not every day.
Yeah.
Most days.
My knowledge is miles wide, but an inch deep. And that's
Right.
the way it's been.
You're like
you know.
you're like our own little Jeopardy contestant.
Oh, boy.
Because I used to watch that show because my parents did. So when I was a kid, that show would come on, and you'd watch it, and you'd be entertained for a second, and then you'd be annoyed because you're like, I can't play along. I don't know
Right.
any of the things you're talking about. But then I grew up a little bit, and I started like we're media people. We ask questions, and I was like, other than I want to grow up to be a Jeopardy contestant, what is the use of the knowledge that you have? I would watch these people and I'd be like, why do you know that?
Right. And how does it help you?
And what the hell is it doing for you?
Exactly.
You never know.
There's all this space up there that we have, but
Yeah.
you're using it for who knows what.
The thing about me and Jeopardy is I'm smart enough to get on the show, but not smart enough to do better than third.
To win, yeah.
I mean, I'll take the bronze. And I was on Wheel of Fortune, and I took third. That was a bit of a bad beat. The wheel got me 3 times.
That's pretty cool.
The
Huh?
wheel
3
on
bankrupts.
time,
Yeah.
I won the opening toss-up. I got the first interview. I was running material. I was in control. And then the turnover bug got me.
Yeah.
I went Brock Purdy against the Ravens.
You pushed the wheel too hard. You should have been a little more strategic.
It's funny you say that because my ex-wife is like, you need to go out there and you need to learn the wheel.
Yeah.
So you get 2 spins in rehearsal. And then you go out there and first of all, you're reaching like 4 feet in front of you and the wheel weighs 1,800 pounds.
It looked, yeah.
You definitely got to get it moving.
So,
You
it's
do
not
see
as
people
easy as
almost
like,
fall
I'm going to
over. Yeah.
feather this thing like you're flicking the
Just
ball
barely
out
touch it.
on a swing route.
What's the
thing
rule?
is really heavy.
But there's also got to be a rule.
Once around.
It has
gotta
to
go
go
once
all the way
around.
around?
Well, it doesn't have to go once around,
I'm sorry.
but there's a certain amount of like you
That's
can't just
Price
go.
is Right. Price
you can't
is Right
just
has
go
to go all the way around.
You can't just like 3 spaces.
Well, that's what I'm like, oh,
you
the
gotta
5,000 is right next to me. Go, boop.
I think it's like spirit of the rule. You got to make a genuine effort to spin the thing.
You know what, though? In seriousness, if that wheel's so heavy, you have to generate so much force to get it going with momentum that
Correct.
the mere momentum will create enough clicks, click, because there's like 4 clicks per pennant.
Correct.
Right. So
Correct.
you can't theoretically get it moving fast enough where if you let it go, it wouldn't go any further.
Right.
Hard to play with touch.
Well,
That's what it sounds like
you
with this
could,
wheel.
but
But
you've
it's
never done this
yeah.
before in your life. And you
Yeah.
get 2 spins in the rehearsal, and you're like, the first one, you're like, oh my God, this thing is like, this is like a full offensive line worth of weight. And then your second one, you're like, okay, I'm going to try to aim for the 5,000.
Right.
And then it's like, you got Vanna over here, you got the bright lights, you got the used letterboard, you got the puzzle, you got the studio audience, you got Pat.
How's Vanna?
Vanna is phenomenal.
Was she?
4'11", 91 pounds.
4'11"?
Hollywood,
Tops.
people don't know this. Hollywood is...
She's a stretch 1.
They are
She's just
absolutely
stretch 0.
miniature people. Miniature people.
Dude, Vanna White is
like a
tiny.
figurine.
Wow.
Vanna comes out during the rehearsal and she goes, hey, y'all, have a good time. Focus on the used letterboard. Good luck.
Has
And it's like,
anyone ever
dude.
made more money doing nothing? God bless her. Like, oh my God. She just smiles and touches.
I'll
little
tell you who's
squares.
up there.
Number
Who's up
22.
there?
Now, he
Steph
does.
Curry.
He
Number
does
22.
something. No, he does something.
What is-
I'm
what
not
is-
saying he
Bring
does
it home.
nothing.
Bring it home.
But Michael Buffer,
Oh.
Well,
let's get ready to rumble.
but he's got to deliver now.
Yeah.
There's a delivery there, and there was also smarts enough in order to patent that thing.
You think he writes his own script?
Like, Vanna just doesn't not trip. Just don't trip.
At the end of the day, who you taking, Vanna White or Carol Merrill?
I don't know
She
who
was.
that is.
She was the. Let's make a deal. She worked with
God.
Monty Hall.
Okay.
Monty Hall's out there
Night-night.
working it. Yeah. Yeah. And now that's Wayne Brady. Is Wayne
He
Brady
takes
going to
over
have to choke a fish?
Wayne takes over every show.
One of the great
After
Chappelle
the
bits of
original
all
host
time.
is done with it, Wayne Brady's there to pick it
Yeah.
up and keep running.
There's too much network.
What are we thinking,
television.
Warriors-wise, guys?
Oh. Are
Well-
they still playing? I got a game.
At 5:30, I
Got a
think.
game in like 10 minutes.
Maybe.
You know what tonight is, Steiny? It's a
What?
legacy game
4.
Zion?
for all of them. Zion's not going to play. Zion's
is he playing?
DNP hungry.
He's questionable.
Questionable.
He's questionable.
He's questionable.
He's got a
Is that just a like an omnipresent tag?
I saw
Is it just there?
Pretty much every game.
saw a thing saying questionable / burgers and fries. So
Well, I said something about, this 5:30
question
tip
about
is right in the middle of dinner.
Oh,
fair.
God.
No, it's fair.
had a
It's
dinner
all
bell joke
unfair and it's
yesterday.
also fair. It's not a legacy game, but when you look at where they are, this game is, I think, quietly bigger than you might imagine because if you lose, and Draymond's coming,
Right.
Friday or Saturday, whatever, but you don't want to dig this hole too deep before your savior comes back.
Is that a 2-5 homestand if they lose?
Oh, boy.
3 and 5.
5.
3 and
Mark
5.
Grandy
Three and five?
saying
I thought it was
Yeah.
a 7. I thought it was
It was
7.
an 8.
8.
Remember, because you said that 5-3.
No, because
and then now they're 3-4.
It's a 7-gamer. They're 2-4 right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If anyone wants to apologize, go ahead.
Well, I would apologize if you weren't so
game.
inquisitive and questioning.
No,
if you were firm,
I was questioning
then
what the record was to this point. I knew it was a 7-game homestand.
And you didn't know, which is why there'll be no apology issued.
No.
You had your brow was all furrowed, and your forehead was all wrinkly.
Because you guys had it wrong. That's all. It's
all right, I'm going to shove off so as to make sure that I can give my daughter a proper goodbye at the airport.
Yeah, tell Grace or I say hi.
I will.
You leaving?
Yeah.
You're not even going to do the ID?
That's why I handed you the paper. Did he not hear the goodbye with my daughter? He has
too
no
busy
tenderness.
talking USC.
Does he have no tenderness in him?
I didn't even know what this was.
Try a little
illegal.
tenderness.
I don't remember.
You get a sheet that's called recurring reads?
I'm out of here now.
They give you this? I want one of these. How come I don't get a recurring read sheet? You can stay, Em. You want to hang out?
Do you want me to hang out?
I'm a more the merrier kind of a guy.
Never answer a question with a question.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'll stick around till 12.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Where were you last night? Where was I last night?
I don't live.
Well, I mean, we picked it up there at a 2-4 homestand currently.
That's true.
And it's trending towards 2-5.
Only a 2-point dog tonight.
2.5. But, well, I mean, since we're clarifying certain details. So
my board says 2.
I just checked the one on ESPN. Yeah. Regardless, speaking of 2s, pretty much the theme of our conversation with Stephen A. was the drop you're talking about, 2-2, number 22, and Andrew Wiggins. And I think that's kind of where we started a lot of our show is like, what do you do? How do you try and salvage this season?
I'm still more stuck on the why than the what.
Why what?
Why does he look like this?
I mean, you could be stuck on the why for the rest of your life. So I'm not stuck on the why. I've never been stuck on the why. I was more stuck on the how. How did he do that for a month? Because this player that we see is the player he's been for 10 years of his career. He was a different player for a month.
I disagree. I just disagree. He was never this bad. Even in Minnesota, he wasn't this bad. And the player for a month thing, he made the All-Star team. He made the All-Star team and then was in discussions for being the MVP of the finals. It was way more than a month. Okay. It was a whole season. And even before that, when he arrived at Golden State, he was inconsistent, but the fan base loved him. You could see it. More often than not, Wiggins was much more positive than negative. And I cannot, for the life of me, we've had how many reporters, including Stephen A. with you guys a short time ago, insinuate that they know exactly what went on with Andrew last year, but they won't tell anyone, and that's fine. It's his business. But whatever it was, I've got no basketball reason to think that it didn't ruin everything. He's never recovered. What happened to Andrew?
I'm not sure we're ever going to find that out.
Andrew.
I do.
I mean, if it's off the court, then you don't want to know what happened to Andrew.
But now it's on the court. It's
been on the court.
Yeah.
He's never been this bad before. Like, even in Minnesota, I know he's been inconsistent. He's been up and down. And for Minnesota, you could say the team most of them were going nowhere. But he's never been this bad. He's never looked this lost. And especially since he's gotten to Golden State, I don't think he's ever played this poorly. And look, I mean, the Warriors are in a position where I think that's the obvious guy you try to move. But I also just think it's like, he kind of looks like he doesn't want to be here anymore oftentimes. Like, I think it's a parting that would be beneficial to both sides. And we talked about where you could move him, where you couldn't. I think there's a place where the Warriors just kind of have to bite a bullet in this situation and try to get off the last few years of his contract. But if you're Wiggins, I find myself wondering what he sees in Golden State, like in his future, outside of playing and maybe not playing and another 3 seasons plus a player, with a player option. Like, I just don't know what there is for Wiggins beyond this year.
Trying to figure out what he wants and what he thinks is one hell of a challenge. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. All right. Y'all ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Let's go. CE.